So I was 15 years old the first time I tried meth. I just did it because I looked like fun, and I figured I could, use it and get more things done and feel a lot better. By the time I started using the meth, I'd already been drinking for a good 5 years. And I found out when I started using it that I could drink more without getting sick or having a hangover. So I dove right into it. Then my girlfriend gets pregnant, and I decided to quit, and we got married. Stopped for a short amount of time, and then started using again. I used here and there, drank all the time up until the point that we got a divorce, and then I really dove off into the drugs. Didn't see that my 2 kids I had with her for a good 8 years. During that time, I really hit it hard. I carried a lot of guilt and shame, and just used to not have to deal with anything, just the pain of everything that was going on. And had a couple more kids that I wasn't seeing. And then my youngest, she was a couple months old, and I got real sick. I couldn't breathe. My legs had swollen up. So the person I was staying with took me to the ER, and they were running around, all the doctors, and one of them came in and said, "We need to do this dye test on you. There's a good chance you'll be on dialysis the rest of your life if we do this." And I'm 37 years old, so I asked why, and she said that they thought I had a tear in my heart. Well, they said, it was just me and the doctor in there, and I said, "Well, how bad is it?" And he said that my heart was working at 20%, my kidneys were working at 30%, my lungs were 60% full of fluid. So it freaked me out. I called my mom, who I hadn't seen in a long time, and told her what the deal was, and they came up there. They ended up, doing some kind of procedure on my heart, and my mom, Dad, they stayed a few days, and then, we couldn't really see eye to eye on things, just from all the stuff in the past, and they left, and the doctors said that I had the heart of a 70-year-old man. They put me on 6 prescription drugs, saying that I'd never get off of them. You'll be on these the rest of your life. My kids came up there, my 17-year-old daughter, and said, "Dad, we want you to go to this rehab." They brought a couple of the guys from Teen Challenge to do an intervention. And I laughed it off at first, and my daughter started crying. She said, "Why won't you go?" And I said, "Well, I got your sister to take care of." And she said, "Well, Dad, you never took care of us." So I said I'd go, but I didn't. I left the hospital, and I stayed clean about 3 weeks on my own. And me and my newest one's mom, we got into it, and I left her, and went right back to the same old thing. I quit taking my medicine so I could do dope, and something just came over me one day. It's right in the middle of the same old thing. This was about a month after I got out of the hospital. And I told my friend, I said, "I think I'm going to go to this rehab." And crazy enough, he said he thought it was a good idea. So I came here and figured out, that I got prayed into this place. So I started, praying about my heart, and anyway, went to the doctor a few weeks ago. They said that they were taking me off 4 of the 6 medicines that they said I'd never get off of, and then my heart was back to the normal heart of a 37-year-old man. And during the 3 months I've been here, he's not only done that in my life, he's restored the relationship with my family, and went above and beyond anything I could imagine him ever doing, or anything I could ever do. He's just healed me in so many different ways, and this place is a great place. Right here. So I started drinking at my grandparents' house when I was about 10. During the summer, I'd go there and just drink and have a good old time. Just thought it was fun. So by the age of 15, I started using meth. I smoked it, snorted it. I had 2 kids, got married, used here and there. Then we got divorced, and that's when I really dove off into the drugs. I used up to the point of being real sick. Couldn't breathe. My legs were swollen. I was rushed to the ER. I get there. They tell me that my heart was working at 20%. My lungs were 60% full fluid. My kidneys were working at 30%. And there was a good chance I'd be on dialysis the rest of my life. They put me on 6 medicines. Said I had the heart of a 7-year-old man. That I'd be on these medicines the rest of my life. And they kept me for 13 days and took 15 liters of fluid off my body. During that time, my daughter and son, who I hadn't seen for around 8 years, came up there with my parents, who I hadn't seen for around the same amount of time, and with a couple of guys from Teen Challenge. They did intervention. The doctors told me when I left the hospital that if I used the meth and the drugs together, that it would kill me. So I waited a month or 2, and I started using again. I quit taking my meds. Then something came over me one day, and I decided to come to this place, and figured out I got prayed into here without a doubt. And so I started praying. You know, when my relationship with the Lord increased, I started praying over my heart, having everyone pray for me. I went back to the doctor. They took me off of 4 of the 6 medicines they said I'd never get off of. They said my heart was back to a normal 37-year-old man's heart. And also during that time, he's restored the relationship with my children, and the relationship with my family has gotten much, much better. I started using meth when I was 15. I was smoking it, snorting it. I used it all through my marriage. But we got divorced, and I really dove into it then. Didn't see my kids for 8 years or so. I really carried around all the guilt, a lot of shame. Ended up getting really sick in December. Couldn't breathe, couldn't walk. Legs were real swollen. Was rushed to the ER. They told me that there was a good chance I'd be on dialysis the rest of my life. My heart was working at 20%, my kidneys at 30%, and my lungs were 60% full of fluid. It kept me 15 days. It kept me 13 days, took 15 liters of fluid off my body. They put me on 6 medicines. They said I'd never get off of them, and I had the heart of a 70-year-old man. During those days, when I was in the hospital, my 17-year-old daughter and my 15-year-old son and my family came with a couple guys from Teen Challenge, and they did an intervention. I didn't go straight to Teen Challenge when I left the hospital. I decided to go back out there and made it about 3 weeks, and then I started using again. Something just came over me one day, and I decided to come here. I got here, and without a doubt found out I was praying into this place. Started having people pray over my heart, and went back to the doctor a couple of weeks ago, and he said that my heart is back to normal, a normal 37-year-old man's heart, and he took me off of 4 of the 6 prescriptions they said I'd never be on. Also, he's healed the relationship with my family. He's restored it, and it's just a miracle. I started drinking when I was around 10 years old, and then I started using meth when I was around 15. I smoked it, snorted it. Got married at the age of 19, had 2 children, used during that time, which played a big part in my divorce. And then after I got divorced, that's when I really dove into it. I used for the next several years until I got real sick in December. And they took me to the hospital, and the doctor said, that my lungs were 60% full of fluid, my kidneys were working at 30%. I might be on dialysis the rest of my life, and this was all due to my heart working at 20%. They put me on 6 medicines. They kept me for 13 days and took 15 liters of fluid off my body. They said that your heart will never be right again. You have the heart of a 70-year-old man, and you'll be on these medicines the rest of your life. If you take any drugs with these medicines, it'll kill you. I left the hospital after Teen Challenge came and did an intervention with my daughter that was 17 and my son that's 15, because she has a sister that's 2 younger sisters that I felt like I needed to go take care of. I made it about 3 weeks without using them, then I got right back on the drugs. Then something just came over me, and I said, you know what, I think I'm going to go to this rehab. So I came here, and I saw right away that I got prayed into this place, and that God was very present. And I just said, Lord, you say your yoke is easy and your burden is light, and I can't do this anymore, and I need your help. And I had everyone pray for every situation in my life. And He's restored the relationship with my family. He's restored my heart back to normal. I went to the doctor a couple of weeks ago, and the doctor said that they were taking me off 4 of the 6 medicines they said I'd never get off of. And then my heart was back to a normal 37-year-old man's heart. So praise be to God. He's done more in my life in the last 3 months of being Teen Challenge than I ever thought He would do in all my life. And at the age of 10, I was heavily drinking by the age of 15, and then I found meth. And I dove right into it. I used until I was 19. I got married to my high school sweetheart, and we had a couple of kids. We were together about 6 years. Through those 6 years, I also used and drank. Then we got divorced, and that's when I really dove into it. I dove into it so much that I didn't even have a relationship with my kids or any of my family. I got really sick in December. I was taken to the ER, and the doctor said, your heart isn't working at 20%, your kidneys are working at 30%, your lungs are 60% full of fluid. There's a good chance you'll be on dialysis the rest of your life. Called my mom, who I hadn't seen in around eight years, and her, my daughter, 17-year-old daughter, and my 15-year-old son, the rest of my family showed up at the hospital with a couple of guys from Teen Challenge, and they did an intervention. I left the hospital knowing that if I used drugs and with any of the 6 medications they put me on for my heart, that it would kill me. They said, you have the heart of a 70-year-old man, and if you use and do these medicines, it'll kill you. So I quit taking the medicines, and I got right back on the dope. Something came over me one day, and I said, you know what? I think I'm going to go to this rehab. And so I came in here, and I saw right away that God was at work in this place. And I said, Lord, you say your yoke is easy and your burden is light, and I just can't do it anymore. I need your help. So I surrendered to Him, and He has restored my family. I went to the doctor here just a couple of weeks ago, and they said, we're taking you off of 4 of the 6 medications that we said you would never be off of, and that your heart is back to the heart of a normal 37-year-old man's heart. So He's done miracles in my life in just a short time. Amen. Are you still filming? You got it? I don't know.
Maybe I am still filming.
Okay.